Welcome, everyone, to Everyday Tales Audio, your go-to channel for heartfelt, funny, and meaningful stories that hit close to home. Today, we're diving into a fresh journey, peeling back the layers of life with all its highs, lows, and the deep lessons we learn about love, family, and growing up. Every story on Everyday Tales Audio isn't just a tale, it's a real slice of life that lets you see a bit of yourself in every moment. If you're a fan of stories that are both witty and packed with meaning, hit that follow button and join us in spreading the beauty of life's little lessons. Let's get started with today's story. The old buses rattled into the station, horns honking as the chatter of the crowd filled the air. Emily slung her worn-out bag over her shoulder, glancing at her mom with a playful smirk. "What's so funny, huh?" her mom snapped. "I told you to change before we left, Mom. Who wears a plaid flannel shirt to the city? Look around, everyone's dressed all fancy." "I don't care," her mom shot back. "I'm a country gal, and this is me. They can keep their fancy stuff. Let's grab a ride to Jake's place before it gets late." "Alright, fine," Emily sighed. Mrs. Clara and Emily arrived at the gate of Jake's apartment complex. Mrs. Clara peered in, noticing the door was locked from the inside. She beamed. "Looks like Jake's home." "Emily, honey, I'm so anxious. Let's go knock." Emily called out, "Jake." "Hey, Jake, you in there?" Jake opened the door, startled. "Mom, Emily. What are you guys doing here?" Emily grinned softly. "Mom said she missed you, and you haven't picked up the phone lately. She got worried you might be sick or something, so we came to check on you." Jake snapped, "I'm not sick. I'm fit as a fiddle. Look, you two should head back home." "Oh, come on, Jake," Emily protested. "We just got here. We'll leave this afternoon, okay? You can't just send us packing like that." Mrs. Clara nodded. "Emily's right, Jake. Let me take a look around your place, see how you're holding up." "Oh, I brought a chicken from home. I'll cook it up for you later." Jake looked nervous, trying hard to shoo them away, but Mrs. Clara wasn't having it. She'd come all this way, and she wasn't leaving without seeing her son. Ignoring Jake's protests, she pushed past him and stepped inside. Jake tried to stop her, but Emily grabbed his arm. "Help me with this bag, will you? We brought a ton of stuff for you since you're probably missing home-cooked meals." "It's heavy as heck." Jake sighed. "I'm not missing anything up here. You guys are too much." Inside, Mrs. Clara froze when she spotted a young woman in a short dress lounging on Jake's bed. The girl didn't even say hi, just stared at Mrs. Clara. Emily's eyes widened. "Who's this?" Jake scratched his head, fumbling for an excuse. "Oh, this is my boss's daughter, Sophie. She just stopped by to get her phone fixed. Don't get the wrong idea, okay?" Mrs. Clara had a bad feeling, her eyes welling up. Emily glared at her brother. "You're a construction engineer, Jake. Since when do you fix phones? And why's the door locked tight like that? Are you fixing her phone or messing around with her?" Jake shot her a warning look. "Emily, watch your mouth." Emily fired back, "I'm just calling it like I see it. A guy and a girl, alone in a locked room in the middle of the day? Anyone would think the same thing. Do you even realize how heartbroken your wife is after losing the baby? Don't you care?" "Shut up," Jake barked. "This isn't your business. You don't know anything, so stop running your mouth, or you'll regret it." Mrs. Clara stepped in. "Enough, both of you. You're siblings, stop fighting like this. What kind of family are we?" The girl on the bed, Sophie, casually scrolled through her phone, ignoring the drama. As the argument heated up, she stood to leave, her face completely unbothered. But at the door, Emily blocked her. "Hold up." Sophie smirked. "Move, or are you scared I'll just walk away?" "Scared? You've got it all wrong. Then get out of my way. I'm not moving. If you're so tough, step over me, you little." Sophie raised her hand to slap Emily, but Emily dodged and slapped her back, 2 loud smacks. They started fighting, and Emily, who'd grown up doing tough farm work, quickly overpowered Sophie, pinning her down and landing a few more hits. Sophie's ears rang, her head spinning. Jake rushed in, pulling Emily off. "Are you crazy, Emily? Why'd you hit her? Do you even know who she is?" Emily shouted, "I don't care if she's the Queen of England. I'll still smack her for being a snake." 15 minutes later, the chaos had settled. Sophie sat there sobbing, her makeup smeared, hair a total mess. Emily plopped down, legs crossed, glaring at her rival. Mrs. Clara couldn't help but feel a little smug seeing the girl she didn't like get taken down a peg. Jake yelled at Emily, "Apologize to Sophie, now. You just attacked her out of nowhere, what's wrong with you?" Emily shot back, "She swung at me first. What's wrong with you? I was just defending myself. Or did you want me to stand there and let her hit me? Sorry, I might be broke, but I'm not stupid." Mrs. Clara nodded. "She's right, Jake. I saw it." Sophie went for Emily first. Jake slammed his hand on the table. "I don't care who started it. Emily, you beat her up like this, and you think that's okay? You need to apologize for hitting her." "Apologize? In your dreams. You're being ridiculous." "Then let me ask you, what did Sophie do to deserve getting beat up?" "Oh, I've got a question for you. What's going on between you and her? Answer that." "Me and Sophie? We're just friends, Emily. What you see is what you get. Do I really need to spell it out?" "Friends, huh? Then why's the door locked? How long are you gonna keep lying to everyone, Jake?" Jake snapped, "You don't have any proof, so stop running your mouth. If you don't apologize to Sophie, you'll regret it." Mrs. Clara gave Emily a subtle wink. "Just say sorry for now, we'll deal with her later." Emily caught her mom's hint and sighed. "Fine, you want me to apologize to her? Whatever." Jake glared. "Call her Sophie, not her. Apologize to Sophie, now." "Alright, fine. I'm sorry, Sophie. I got a little heated, hope you can let it slide." Jake turned to comfort Sophie. "Wipe those tears, Sophie, don't cry. Emily's young and impulsive, she didn't mean it. Can you forgive her?" Sophie huffed, "I'll let it go this time, but y'all better watch your mouths next time, or I'm calling the cops." Emily mumbled a quiet yes, but in her head, she was fuming. "Oh, wow, she's already planning a next time? Still trying to mess with my brother, huh? Girl, you've got some nerve." Mrs. Clara spoke up. "Alright, let's put this misunderstanding behind us. Emily, go start cooking, I'll get some water boiling. Sophie, stay for lunch, okay?" Sophie didn't respond, just climbed back onto the bed and lay down. Emily headed to the bathroom and noticed Jake's laundry mixed with Sophie's clothes, 2 toothbrushes, and a bunch of women's stuff scattered around. She sighed. Sophie's definitely staying here. No wonder Jake hasn't been home in over a month, he's shacking up with his side chick. Emily swallowed her anger and quietly started cooking. Mrs. Clara went into the kitchen, eyeing the new pots and pans. She knew right away another woman was living with her son. She played it cool and asked, "Jake, how come you've got all this new kitchen stuff? Last time I was here, you didn't even cook, barely had anything in here." Jake scratched his head. "Oh, my buddy from work comes over to eat a lot, so I got some stuff, Mom." Mrs. Clara spotted a pink suitcase tucked under the dresser and asked, "So your buddy uses a pink suitcase, huh?" Jake froze, fumbling for words, when Emily chimed in, "Does your buddy use women's stuff too? 'Cause the bathroom's full of girly products." Jake panicked, realizing he hadn't hidden Sophie's things. He stammered, That guy's a little eccentric. Just ignore it, it's no big deal." Sophie pouted at Jake. "Why'd your mom and that annoying sister of yours show up out of nowhere? What do we do now?" Jake exhaled. "Just stay calm, Sophie, I'll handle it. Keep your mouth shut, okay? If this gets out, we're both in deep trouble." "Fine, I get it. So we're eating lunch with them now?" "Yeah, I can't kick Mom out right now. Let's just play it cool and watch what we say." Mrs. Clara and Emily finished cooking and set the table. Sophie was still lounging on the bed. Mrs. Clara called, "Sophie, come eat with us." Emily muttered as she set out the plates, "She comes over as a guest but just sprawls out on the bed like that? So rude." Sophie sat up, grumbling under her breath, "Such a stuck-up little brat. No wonder no one wants her." "Oh, honey, I'm already married with 2 kids, how about you? You tied the knot yet?" Sophie's face flushed, she was 30 and still single. She forced a laugh. "Why rush into marriage? I'm having too much fun. Getting hitched is like putting a leash on yourself, no more freedom. I'm in no hurry." Emily smirked. "Oh, not in a hurry, or is it that no one wants you? Or maybe you're just too busy to date?" Mrs. Clara turned to Sophie. "Are you that busy, sweetie? You don't seem too busy hanging out here." Emily answered for her. "Oh, she's busy, Mom, busy chasing after other people's husbands. No time for actual dating." Sophie's face turned red with anger, her teeth clenched. "Will you shut up already? Who gave you the right to talk to me like that?" Emily shot her a cold look. "You don't deserve my respect, got it?" Jake walked in after finishing a phone call, cutting through the tension between Emily and Sophie. "I'm starving. Let's eat." Mrs. Clara nodded. "Come on, let's eat, I'm hungry too." Lunch wasn't exactly a cheerful affair. Emily kept her eyes glued on Sophie. Sophie picked up a chicken drumstick and put it in Jake's bowl. "You've been working hard, Jake, eat up." "Thanks, Sophie, you eat too." Emily sighed and smacked her lips. "Mom, eat up." "You too, hon," Mrs. Clara replied. After the meal, Sophie tried to act friendly for the first time. "I came over to have Jake fix my phone, and I'm so glad I got to meet you and Emily today. Jake's told me about you, but it's an honor to finally meet in person." "So you and Jake are friends?" Mrs. Clara asked. "Yes, ma'am. I'm 2 years older than Jake, but we're super close, like best friends." "Oh, I see. Jake never mentioned you, so I was a bit surprised to meet you today." Sophie smiled. "I was actually planning to visit your place sometime soon to get to know y'all better. I love visiting the countryside." Emily rolled her eyes. "Best friends, huh? Don't get too close, or you might end up with a black eye. You're single, right? Maybe stick to hanging out with single guys. Messing with married men might get you in trouble, and then you'll be crying about how life's so unfair." Jake glared at Emily. "Are you trying to start something again?" Wasn't the drama earlier enough? What do I have to say to get through to you? Emily sighed, looking at her brother. I'm just being real, Jake. Haven't you seen all those cheating scandals online? Single girls getting too cozy with married guys, then the wife catches them and gives them a makeover they didn't ask for. You've never seen those videos? Jake grimaced. Enough, Emily. Sophie and I are just friends, like family. You keep talking nonsense like this, and if Sarah hears, she'll think I'm up to no good up here. Speaking of Sarah, she's still grieving over losing the baby. And here you are, fixing phones for Sophie in your free time. Why don't you go home and comfort your wife instead? I don't get how you can be such a lousy husband. Tell me the truth, are you and Sophie hooking up? Sophie stayed calm, acting like nothing was wrong. Jake, on the other hand, lost it. Are you out of your mind? How many times do I have to say it? Me and Sophie are just friends, stop talking nonsense. Just answer yes or no, go on. Of course not. This conversation is over. I don't want to hear another word from you, got it? Emily nodded. Fine, I'll drop it. But let me say this one last time, if I find out you're lying and messing around up here, you're done, Jake. Mrs. Clara finally spoke up. Jake, honey. Mrs. Clara looked at Jake, her voice firm. I've only got one daughter-in-law, and that's Sarah. I'm not accepting anyone else, you hear me? You keep saying you're innocent, that me and Emily are just accusing you. But I'm your mother, I brought you into this world, and you can't fool me. I'm just gonna say this today, Jake, think hard about what I'm telling you. Jake was visibly shaken, but he still tried to deny everything. After a moment, he turned to Sophie. Sophie, you should head out. I need to talk to my mom alone for a bit. Sophie stood up, hesitating. All right, Jake, walk me to the gate. I've got something to ask you first. At the gate, Sophie shot Jake a sharp look. You're telling me to leave, but where am I supposed to go, huh? Haven't we been living together for a month already? Jake quickly tried to calm her down. I know. But my mom and sister are here right now. Listen, why don't you go to the coffee shop down the street and hang out there? Once my mom leaves, I'll come pick you up, okay? Sophie pouted, crossing her arms. Ugh, I can't deal with this. Come on, be a good sport, Jake coaxed. I care about you, Sophie. Just wait there for a little while, alright? Fine, she huffed. I'll wait. But you better get your mom and that annoying sister of yours out of here quick, I don't like waiting, Jake. Jake nodded. I got it. You go on ahead. As Sophie walked off, Jake let out a long sigh, his mind racing. How am I gonna get Mom and Emily to stop suspecting me and Sophie? If Sarah finds out about this, I'm done for. Back in the apartment, Jake tried to butter up his mom and sister, hoping to cover up his mess. Hey, Mom, I've got an idea. What's that? Mrs. Clara asked. How about we hit the mall? I'll take you and Emily shopping, maybe grab some stuff while we're there. It's the middle of the day, Jake, pretty hot out there, don't you think? Yeah, but come on. You and Emily don't come up here often. Let's make it fun. Mrs. Clara sighed. Nah, let's skip the outing. Sit down, Jake, I've got some questions for you. We need to head home soon anyway. Alright, I'm here. What's up? Tell me the truth, are you and Sophie up to something? I can tell just by looking at you two, so don't try to hide it anymore. Jake scratched his head, still dodging. No, Mom, I swear there's nothing going on. You've gotta believe me. Then why does she act like she owns the place when she's here? Or are you two shacking up? I can tell from all the stuff around here. Jake, don't lie to me. I'm not, Mom. I'd never do anything to betray Sarah, I promise. After a long back and forth, Jake even offered Emily a wad of cash, about $1,000, to keep her quiet, worried she'd spill everything back home and ruin his reputation. I'm Sarah, 25 years old, and I work at a local bank near my house. I've been married to Jake for a year now. He's 30, a construction engineer, always on the road. In a whole year, he probably only comes home a few times. Some of the girls at the bank used to tease me, saying guys like him live off takeout, with a wife waiting at home while they're out chasing other women. I didn't buy it back then. I trusted Jake completely and brushed it off. His work site's only 40 miles from home, but when I was in the hospital, he didn't even show up. I've been recovering at home for a week now, and still no sign of him. A few days later, he still wasn't back. This time, my mother-in-law, Mrs. Clara, got really worried and went to the city to get to the bottom of things. But she loves both her son and me, so she won't say a word. She just wants peace and believes Jake will change and settle down with me. Emily, who got married young and comes from a struggling family, saw the $1,000 as a huge deal. When Jake promised even more down the line, she softened, wanting to help her brother out. On the way home, Mrs. Clara was upset with Emily. What we saw with Sophie at Jake's place, don't breathe a word to anyone, okay? This stays between us. Emily nodded. Got it, Mom. But I feel kinda bad for Sarah. I feel awful for her too, honey, Mrs. Clara admitted. But I believe Jake will come around. It's probably just a fling. He'll figure things out soon enough. I hope he changes, Mom. I've never seen him act like this. It doesn't sit right with me. Let's give him a chance to make things right. But if he doesn't shape up after a while, we'll have to tell Sarah and let her decide what to do. If Jake doesn't change, I'm done with him. I'll stand by Sarah, no matter what. Alright, let's head home, sweetie. I was sweeping the yard when Mrs. Clara and Emily got back. I greeted them warmly. Hey, Mom, Emily, you're back. Mrs. Clara smiled brightly. Yep. I got you a little something, Sarah. Where's your mom at? Oh, she left at noon, ma'am. I'm feeling better, so I told her to head home. She's got a lot going on. Emily, feeling guilty about hiding things from her sister-in-law, gave me a quick hello and headed home. Mrs. Clara went to her room to lie down, saying she was carsick and needed rest. But she couldn't sleep, tossing and turning. Finally, she grabbed her phone and called Jake. Hey, Mom, I'm here, Jake answered. Mrs. Clara sighed. I'm not telling Sarah anything, but you've got to promise me you'll never do this again. Can you do that? Of course I can, Mom, you've got to trust me. I won't let Sophie come around anymore, I swear. Don't worry. Alright, I'll trust you. Oh, and you need to wrap up your work up there and move closer to home. Yeah, I'll sort it out and come back soon, Mom. But I've got to finish this project first. I'll be home after that, I promise. Hurry up, Jake. Being close to your wife and family is what's best. Nothing beats your own home, son. I know, Mom. I've got to run, I'm busy right now. Talk soon. Wait, do you remember what you promised me? You better come home this Saturday to see your wife. If you don't show up, I'm done with you, Jake. Got it, Mom, I'll be there. Jake hung up quickly. Sophie was lying next to him, half-dressed. What did your mom say? She's making you go back home again, huh? Jake pulled her close. Yeah. Sophie pushed his arm away, her tone sharp. So what's your plan? You gonna listen to your mom and go back to your wife? Jake tried to soothe her. No way, Sophie. How could I go back? Don't say stuff like that. Who knows with you? When your mom says jump, you jump. That's not happening. My work's here, and more importantly, you're here. I'm not going anywhere. Sophie wrapped her arms around his neck, pouting playfully. Your wife can't have kids, huh? How about I give you a baby? How many kids you want? Jake hesitated. How do you know Sarah can't have kids? Sophie kissed him, smirking. Anything about you, I know it all. So if you're thinking of playing me, you better drop that idea right now. I decided to go back to work the next week, and Mrs. Clara thought it'd be good for me to keep my mind busy. I brought it up with her. I'm thinking of going to visit Jake tomorrow, Mom. He's been so busy with work, I'm worried he's not eating right or if he's lost too much weight. Mrs. Clara shut it down immediately. You don't need to go check on him, Sarah. He's doing just fine, not losing any weight. Oh, how do you know? She stumbled over her words. He called me the other day. Said he's actually gained some weight, looking healthy, you know? I see. Still, I was thinking of going up for a couple of days to spend time with him. I'm heading back to work next week, so I'll be busy soon. Mrs. Clara wouldn't budge. No need to go up there, hon. Jake said he'll be home in a day or two, why don't you just wait for him here? But I wanna see how he's doing for myself, Mom. I won't feel at ease unless I see him with my own eyes. Let's save the visit for another time, alright? You just recovered, you're still not at 100%. Listen to me and stay home. I kept pushing, but she wouldn't let me go, so I had no choice but to stay put. I'm totally fine now, why is she so worried? Mrs. Clara marched straight to the front yard and called Jake. What's going on, Mom? Jake, are you coming home or not? Sarah's saying she wants to come up there to see you. I told her not to, but if she insists on going tomorrow, I can't stop her. Whatever happens, you're on your own. What? Why didn't you stop her, Mom? You made this mess, so you deal with it. I'm not helping you out of this one. If you don't want things to blow up, you need to end it with that awful Sophie and get your act together, Jake. Jake panicked. What am I supposed to do now, Mom? Finish up work tonight and come home. Spend a couple of days with your wife, cheer her up. Then go back, wrap up your project, and get transferred closer to home. If you don't want our family to fall apart, listen to me. Alright, I'll come home tonight. Tell Sarah not to come up here, okay? I'll let her know, but I'm not messing around, Jake. Yes, I got it. Then he hung up. The next day, I was out buying some groceries when Jake called, saying he'd be home that evening. I was over the moon, it had been over a month since he last came home. He used to come back every week, but lately, he'd been too busy. I got my shopping done and headed home early to cook dinner and wait for him. The second I saw him pull into the yard, I ran out. Honey. Jake gave a stiff nod and a forced smile, like he didn't really want to be there. Hey. Where's Mom at? She just stepped out to the store. You tired? I'll grab you some water. Yeah, thanks. I got him a cold bottle from the fridge and sat next to him, checking in. You've been super busy lately, huh? Must be exhausting. Whatever you're doing, just make sure you take care of yourself, okay? Yeah, I know, he replied, his tone flat. He talked to me like it was no big deal, nothing like how I'd been missing him and waiting for him to come home. He didn't even ask how I was doing, not once. After dinner, we all sat around chatting for a while. I went to bed first so Mrs. Clara and Jake could talk. She told him, "Go get some rest, Jake, it's getting late." "Alright, I'll finish this tea and head in." "You go on to bed, Mom, don't tire yourself out." "Okay, I'll turn in first." I waited in bed for Jake, but he didn't come. I stepped out and saw him messing with his phone. "Honey, come to bed," I called. He didn't even look at me. "Yeah, you go ahead, I'll be there in a bit." His words stung a little. I'd put on a cute little nightgown to surprise him, and he didn't even glance my way. I went back to the room, curled up, and fell asleep. When I woke up at 2 a.m., Jake still wasn't in bed. I went out and found him asleep on the couch. I sighed, grabbed a blanket, and covered him up. I didn't know what was making him so distant that he didn't even want to sleep next to me, but I didn't dare ask. After tucking him in, I sat there watching him sleep for a long time, until it was almost morning, then I went back to bed. In the morning, Mrs. Clara was up early for her walk and spotted Jake jogging down the street. "Jake!" "Hey, Mom. Why were you up so early?" "I'm used to getting up for my morning exercise." "What do you and Sarah want for breakfast?" "I'll grab something." "I'm good with anything, Mom." "Whatever you get, I'll eat." "Alright, how about beef noodle soup for everyone?" "Since you've got the day off, why don't you and Sarah go out somewhere fun to unwind?" Jake shook his head. "Nah, I'd rather stay home and chill, Mom. I'm not really in the mood to go out." Mrs. Clara frowned at him. "What did you promise me, Jake? Or are you still messing around with Sophie? I'm telling you, you're done if you keep this up." Jake sighed, looking frustrated. "I got it, Mom, I know. Stop bringing it up, it's giving me a headache. I'm heading inside." After breakfast, I was washing dishes when Jake came up to me. "Sarah, let's go out somewhere." I was shocked, my eyes lighting up. "Us? Go out together? Where are we going?" "Wherever you want, I'll take you." "What do I want to do?" I hesitated. "I don't really know, anywhere's fine with me." Jake sighed. "You're something else, you know that? You don't even know what you want to do. Don't you have any hobbies?" "Well, it's been so long since we went out together, I'm not sure where to go. How about we go up to the theater and catch a movie?" "The theater? That's, like, 12 miles away, way too far. Let's go somewhere else. We used to go out all the time, it wasn't a big deal." Jake smacked his lips. Things were different back then. Don't compare it. "How about we grab some coffee instead? It's close and chill." "Sure," I agreed. So we got ready to head out. Mrs. Clara was thrilled, hoping we'd have a good time and find some happiness together. Mrs. Clara called Emily, bursting with excitement. "Emily, Jake's back. He just took Sarah out for a little date, I'm so happy." "Really? How long's he been home, Mom?" "Since last night." "Cool, I'll stop by after work this afternoon." "Sounds good, hon." At the coffee shop, after we ordered drinks, Jake was glued to his phone, barely saying a word. I had to be the one to start any conversation. Noticing he seemed on edge, I asked, "Is something wrong? You look kinda stressed." Jake hesitated. "Nah, it's nothing. Drink your coffee. Want something to eat? Go ahead and order." "Then why's your face all weird? You got something on your mind?" Jake furrowed his brow at me. "I already said it's nothing, stop asking, okay?" Our little outing ended on a flat, awkward note. Jake drove me home, his face all gloomy. I didn't dare ask more. Whenever I did, he'd just snap at me. Back home, Mrs. Clara and Emily were cooking in the kitchen. Emily perked up when she saw us. "Hey, you guys are back. Go freshen up and come eat. Mom made roast chicken today, and it's amazing." "Yeah, I got some fruit. Can you set it out for me, Em?" "Sure thing." Jake flopped onto the couch, looking exhausted. I sighed, went upstairs to grab some clothes, and took a shower. We all sat down to eat, but just then, someone knocked on the door. Emily went to answer it and froze, stammering, How dare you show up here?" Mrs. Clara peeked out. "Who's that, Emily?" "Sophie." The second he heard Sophie's name, Jake choked on his food, coughing hard. Sophie strolled in, all smiles. "Hey, everyone." Mrs. Clara sat there, her jaw locked, speechless. Jake stuttered, "Sophie, what are you doing all the way out here?" I smiled at her. "Oh, you're a friend of my husband's? Come join us for dinner." Sophie grinned. "Perfect timing, I'm starving." I got up to grab a plate for her. Sophie plopped down at the table, ignoring Jake's obvious panic. Mrs. Clara and Emily exchanged a stunned look, saying nothing. They were fuming, but with me sitting right there, they had to bite their tongues. They didn't want me to find out and be crushed, so they played nice, keeping their cool. Emily, though, couldn't take it. She couldn't even swallow her food, so she got up and went to the living room. She knew if she stayed at that table any longer, she'd end up punching the woman trying to steal her brother. Mrs. Clara was just as livid, unable to eat either, and followed Emily out. Emily tried to keep her rage in check, whispering, "That little snake, how dare she come here? Is she seriously trying to steal someone's husband out in the open like this?" Mrs. Clara gritted her teeth. "This is bad. If this keeps up, it's all gonna come out. What's Sarah gonna do? I just wanna smack that girl's face in." "Let's hold off, Mom," Emily said. Mrs. Clara grabbed her hand. "Stay calm, or we'll blow this wide open. We've gotta keep our heads and figure out how to get that woman outta here, Emily, then things can settle down." "So what do we do, Mom? I'm losing my patience here." Back at the table, it was just me, Jake, and our guest, Sophie. Jake kept his head down, too embarrassed to speak. Sophie, on the other hand, acted like she owned the place. "This chicken's so good, Sarah." "Thanks, it's home-raised." "Have some more." "Oh, I will, don't worry about me." Sophie turned to Jake. "Your place was a pain to find, Jake. I had to ask for directions 3 times. Almost got lost out there." Jake mumbled, "Why'd you even come out here?" Sophie replied casually, "No big reason, just had a free weekend, so I thought I'd visit. I've been curious about your place for a while, you know. And meeting your wife today, it's such an honor." Jake stayed quiet, not daring to say more. I smiled. "Are you Jake's boss?" "Nope, I'm his boss's daughter. Jake and I are like family, Sarah. I've been meaning to come out here for ages, but I only had time today." I was surprised by how open Sophie was. "Oh, I see. It's an honor to meet you too. I'm Sarah." "I know. So, Sarah, you back at work yet, or still taking it easy at home?" "I'm starting work again next week." "Good for you. Staying home all the time gets boring, huh?" Sophie and I chatted for a bit. She was way more laid back than I expected. She told me she's 30, still single, and even asked if I knew any good guys to set her up with. She said she'd love to marry a country boy. Then she asked, got any spare rooms, Sarah? Can you stash my suitcase for me? I'm gonna hop in the shower real quick. Sure. Sophie grabbed a towel and headed to the bathroom like she lived here, not a care in the world. I was trying to figure out where she'd sleep when Mrs. Clara came out. I'll take Sophie's suitcase to my room. She can sleep with me tonight, Sarah, don't worry about it. Is that okay, Mom? I was about to clear out the storage room for her. No need, she'll stay in my room. The storage room's got too many mosquitoes. All right. I carried a basket of laundry up to the rooftop to hang. Emily pulled Mrs. Clara aside and whispered, "You better keep an eye on that woman tonight, Mom. Don't let her try anything with Jake." I know. How can someone be so shameless? Emily sighed. It's driving me nuts. Tomorrow, I'll come over, trick her into stepping outside, and give her a piece of my mind. I'm at my limit here, but I'm holding back for Sarah's sake. I'm choking on my anger too, Mrs. Clara admitted. I can't stand it anymore. How can someone be this awful? Sophie finished her shower and called out, "Jake, where's your hairdryer?" "It's in my room," Jake replied. Sophie started heading that way, but Mrs. Clara stopped her. "Hold on, I'll grab it for you. Wait out here." She brought the dryer out, handed it to Sophie, and asked, "So, you planning to stay the night?" "Yes, ma'am. I don't know anyone around here except Jake." "What, you want me to sleep on the street?" "You're shameless enough, you'll regret what you've done, Sophie." Sophie stayed calm, brushing it off. "You're making a big deal out of nothing, ma'am. Jake and I are like family, do you really need to blow this out of proportion and make things messy? My son Jake's married, and his wife is a good, decent woman, not like you. What kind of person has no self-respect? Go find someone else to be close with, leave Jake alone." Sophie smirked confidently. "Meeting each other is fate, ma'am, meant to be. Whether we end up together is up to Jake, not you. So maybe tone it down a bit, unless you want Sarah to find out and get upset, got it?" I came downstairs just then, and Mrs. Clara and Sophie stopped talking. Mrs. Clara changed her tone. "Sophie, you'll sleep in my room tonight, okay? We don't have any other spare rooms. If you'd rather stay at a motel for more comfort, that's up to you." "Oh, no spare rooms at all?" "Just the storage room, but it's full of mosquitoes. We used to let the dog sleep in there. Want me to grab a blanket for you?" I jumped in, feeling bad about how Mrs. Clara was talking to a guest. "Sophie, don't mind her, she's just kidding." Mrs. Clara shot me a look. "I'm serious, Sarah." "Mom, don't say that." Sophie laughed it off. "It's fine, Sarah. Hey, let's go grab a drink, it's still early." Mrs. Clara cut in. "Out here in the country, folks are in bed by now. Jake, Sarah, you two had a long day, go get some rest. Sophie, if you want to go out, Emily can take you." Emily gave Sophie a cold stare. "I'll show you around, Sophie." Sophie, remembering the beating Emily gave her last time, quickly backtracked. "On second thought, I'll just head to bed. I can sleep in the living room, can I borrow a blanket, ma'am?" "No way we're letting a guest sleep in the living room. Come share my room, my bed's big, and it's just me in there. No need to feel shy." Sophie reluctantly followed Mrs. Clara to her room. She wasn't thrilled, but she didn't have much choice. Jake and I went to our bedroom. Tonight was the same, he didn't touch me or say a word. He just scrolled through videos on his phone, ignoring me as I lay there, my mind racing with a million thoughts. I kept wondering what I'd done wrong to make him so distant. I was so caught up in my own head that I didn't even think about Sophie anymore. I turned to Jake, wrapping my arms around him. "Honey, I really want to cuddle tonight." Jake replied coldly, "It's so stuffy tonight, you want to roast us both?" "I don't care, I'm cuddling anyway." "You're so extra." His extra comment stung. I turned to face the wall, closed my eyes, and tried to sleep, hoping it'd help me forget the hurt. At 1 a.m., Sophie was still awake, her mind swirling with dark thoughts. Is Jake cuddling with Sarah right now? Are they doing stuff? The jealousy gnawed at her, making her restless. She sat up, carefully slipping out of bed so Mrs. Clara wouldn't notice. Just as she reached for the door, Mrs. Clara's voice rang out. "Not sleeping? Where you headed?" Sophie jumped, her heart racing, and stammered, just to the bathroom." She pushed the door open and stepped out, muttering under her breath, "That old hag, scared the life out of me." She'd said she was going to the bathroom, but instead, she crept toward Jake and Sarah's room, pressing her ear to the door to listen for any sounds. "Sophie." She jumped again, spinning around to see Mrs. Clara waving her over. "The bathroom's this way, hon, I need to go too." "Let's go together." All night, Sophie kept trying to sneak out, but every time she moved, Mrs. Clara would clear her throat, keeping her in check. Sophie finally gave up, grumbling as she lay back down, "She's old but has ears like a hawk, won't even let me sleep." Mrs. Clara shot back, "I'm not asleep yet, I'm keeping an eye on you so you don't do anything stupid." Sophie, fed up, closed her eyes and went to sleep. By 9 a.m., Sophie finally woke up. Mrs. Clara and Emily were already in the kitchen, preparing lunch. Seeing Emily, Sophie was surprised. She'd stayed over last night and was back already. "You're here again, Emily? You've got a lot of free time, huh?" Emily flashed a fake smile. "I'm pretty busy, actually, but I had to come over to keep an eye on a certain dog that might start biting. Gotta help Mom out, you know." Sophie nearly choked on her anger. Emily was clearly talking about her. Emily smacked her lips. "The difference between humans and dogs is self-awareness, Sophie. If a person's got less sense than a dog, they might as well be one." Sophie was furious but stayed quiet, too scared of getting another beating. She looked around, not seeing Jake, and asked, "Where's Jake at, ma'am?" "He took his wife to the market," Mrs. Clara replied. "They're so happy together, but some people with no manners just can't help sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, drives me up the wall." Emily chimed in, "Don't stress, Mom, we've gotta save our energy to keep fighting for Jake's family. We've got a long road ahead, right?" "You're right, hon, I'm not letting her get her way." Even after being called out like that, Sophie didn't seem fazed. She acted like nothing was wrong. "I'm starving. Got anything to snack on, ma'am?" There was some leftover rice, but I fed it to the dogs. Sophie opened the fridge, spotting a small cake, and pulled it out. Emily quickly stopped her. "I bought that cake to take to my place later, Sophie. Why don't you go grab some food at a diner? You should at least ask before touching other people's stuff, don't just help yourself." Sophie muttered, "It's just a cake, why make a big deal out of it?" "Big deal or not, it's about having some basic manners, Sophie." Sophie stepped outside, looking around for a place to eat, but out in the country, diners were few and far between. Too hungry to walk far, she came back inside, sat down, and texted Jake. "Where are you? Why aren't you back yet?" Jake replied quickly, "At the market, taking my wife out again." "You're at the market and just left me here like this?" "I'm starving, Jake, how could you be so heartless? I hate you." Jake didn't respond, which only made Sophie more bitter. I came out of the bathroom and called, "Mom, whose clothes are in here? They're not washed yet." "Probably Sophie's," Mrs. Clara said. Sophie sighed. "Yep, those are mine." Emily rolled her eyes. "Then why don't you wash them? You waiting for someone to do it for you?" Sophie got up. "Fine, I'll wash them. Why do you always have to snap at me? So rude and stuck up." Emily glared at her. "Who you calling rude? Want me to show you what rude really looks like?" Mrs. Clara stepped in. "Emily, enough. Sophie, go wash your clothes. Emily, get back to cooking, let's hurry up." Emily went to the kitchen, muttering under her breath, "That little snake, she's gonna get what's coming to her." Jake and I got back from the market that morning. Mrs. Clara had asked us to pick up a few things for her. As soon as Jake walked in, Sophie came out, eyeing us both. "Where've you been? Took you long enough." I smiled brightly. "We were just grabbing some stuff for Mom at the market." "Did you sleep well last night, Sophie?" "Oh, yeah, pretty good." "That's great. I was worried you might not sleep well, being in a new place and all." Sophie turned to Jake. "Jake, come sit in the living room." She followed him out, and while everyone else was busy in the kitchen, Sophie planted a quick kiss on Jake, startling him. "Hey, don't do that, what if someone sees us?" "No one's looking, relax." "I missed you so much, Jake. We've gotta be careful, or we're done for." I know. Do you miss me? Or did you forget all about me since you've been sleeping next to your wife?" Jake shook his head. "How could I forget you? I haven't even touched Sarah these past 2 days, I'm keeping my promise to you." Sophie's eyes widened. "For real?" "Yeah, I'm already head over heels for you, Sophie. I only want to be with you." Hearing that, Sophie smirked, clearly pleased. There's something about sneaking around that always feels more thrilling, and it's no wonder Jake couldn't let her go. Lunch wasn't even over when Emily, taking advantage of everyone still being awake, grabbed a handful of spicy chili peppers. She sneaked up to the rooftop, rubbed them all over Sophie's bra and underwear, then shook off the seeds. "Let's see if you can keep acting all high and mighty tonight, you little homewrecker," she muttered before heading downstairs, grabbing her things, and going home. That night, unable to resist their longing, Sophie and Jake made a plan to sneak out to a motel. Jake arranged for Sophie to leave the house first, then he'd find an excuse to follow. After dinner, Sophie spoke up. "I'm heading over to a friend's place for a bit." Mrs. Clara raised an eyebrow. "I thought you said you didn't know anyone around here." "Oh, it's a coworker from the office. She's visiting her family nearby and just called to invite me over." "All right, go ahead. You taking your stuff with you?" "No, ma'am." Sophie grabbed her purse and left, walking out to the levee to wait for Jake to pick her up for their motel rendezvous. By now, her chest and private area were burning more and more. When she'd showered and put on her clothes earlier, she'd felt a slight sting but ignored it in her rush to leave. Now, the burning was unbearable, her clothes rubbing against her skin, making it worse. She had no spare clothes to change into, and the dark, empty levee offered no relief. Jake was taking forever, and the burning pain in her chest and lower body was so intense she started crying, overwhelmed. Back at the house, Jake found his excuse to slip out. "I'm gonna go buy a phone card real quick," he told Mrs. Clara. She didn't suspect a thing. "Okay, hurry back, hon." Jake was thrilled, speeding off on his bike. He'd take Sophie to the motel for 3 hours, then head home. If his mom asked, he'd say he ran into a buddy who invited him for a few beers. No one would suspect a thing. Jake raced to the levee, eager to meet Sophie. When he got there, he saw her sitting and crying. He stopped, confused. "Sophie, what's wrong? What happened?" Sophie winced. "It hurts so much, I can't take it, Jake." "Hurts where? What's going on?" Sophie pointed to her private area. "Right here." Jake misunderstood, thinking she was just eager for him, which only made him more excited. "Got it. Hop on, I'll get us there quick before it's too late." Jake drove her to the motel, carrying her to the bed. "I missed you so much, Sophie." But Sophie pushed him away, grimacing. "Ow, it hurts, get off me." Jake looked confused. "What's wrong with you? What's going on?" Sophie sobbed. "I'm done for, Jake, it hurts so bad I could die." Jake pulled her clothes off and froze in shock. Her chest and private area were red, swollen, and blistered. It was horrifying. He freaked out, yelling, "Oh my gosh, Sophie, what happened to you?" "I don't know. It started burning like crazy after my shower, like I'd been scalded. Maybe I'm allergic to something." "My clothes are back at your place. I washed this set this morning and hung them on your rooftop. I grabbed them tonight before my shower, that's it. Maybe your detergent's some cheap knockoff, it's killing me." Jake ran his hands through his hair, panicked. "I don't know what's going on either. Let me take you to the hospital, this swelling looks bad. I'm freaked out." Sophie turned on him, hurt. "This is your fault, and you're saying that? What, you're scared of me now? You think I'm gross?" No, don't take it the wrong way. Let's get you to the hospital, this doesn't look right." Jake rushed Sophie to the hospital. The doctor examined her, slathered green ointment on her chest and private area, and gave Jake a prescription to fill. Their 3-hour motel plan was ruined, and Jake reluctantly drove Sophie back. She was in so much pain, her face twisted, too miserable to talk. Seeing Jake drop Sophie off, both of them acting strange, combined with how distant Jake had been lately, I started to suspect something was going on between them. I turned to Mrs. Clara. "Mom, can I ask you something?" "What's up, hon?" "I think there's something off with Jake and Sophie. They're not just friends, I'm starting to think they're sneaking around behind my back." At first, Mrs. Clara denied it. "No way, Sarah. Jake would never do something like that. They're just friends, you're overthinking this." "I don't have proof, but I've got a bad feeling, Mom. Could they be hiding something from me?" "Sweetie, I'm begging you, without proof, nothing's certain. Let's give it some time and see, okay?" "All right." But the very next morning, Sophie had to go to a hospital in the city for a follow-up because the pain was too much. She asked to leave, and Jake called her a cab. By the afternoon, though, Jake said he had urgent work and headed back to the city too. My suspicions were left hanging, unresolved. That evening, I was in my room when I heard Emily's motorcycle pull up. I got up and quietly stepped out to eavesdrop on her and Mrs. Clara. Emily asked, "Did that little snake leave yet, Mom?" "Yeah, she suddenly got sick or something, kept complaining about the pain and took a cab back to the city." Emily burst out laughing. "Serves her right. She thought she could mess with Jake? Let that be a lesson." Mrs. Clara got curious. "Why were you so smug? You did something to her, didn't you?" "Not much, I just rubbed some chili peppers on her underwear. Bet she's swollen up like a balloon now." "That's hilarious, Mom. Wait, that was you? No wonder she said it was swollen and hurt like crazy. You're something else, Emily, don't mess around. Keep it down, Mom, or we'll get caught." Hearing that, I felt my world crumble. My gut feeling was right. Sophie and Jake were having an affair. I went back to my room, sitting there, lost in thought. I tried to figure out how to get Jake to change and come back to me like before, or, if we ended up divorcing, how to make him regret leaving me. Letting go now would just make it too easy for Jake and Sophie, right? Even though I was heartbroken and furious, I didn't say a word to Jake. Instead, I started calling and texting him more, acting extra caring. I was preparing for the perfect revenge, a subtle, emotional takedown that Jake and Sophie would never see coming. I lied to Mrs. Clara, saying I was going to work, but instead, I headed straight to the city where Jake was staying to scope things out. I still had a spare key to his apartment that he didn't know about. When I got there, I saw from a distance that his door was locked from the outside. To avoid suspicion, I pretended to be Sophie's friend and asked the neighbor lady, "Excuse me, ma'am, which room is Jake and Sophie's?" She pointed. "Right there, that's Jake's place." "Who are you, hon? You looking for Jake?" "I'm a friend of Sophie's, just here to visit her." "Oh, I see. Sophie's sick, she's in the hospital right now. Jake had to take time off work to take care of her." "Really? How long has Sophie been staying here, ma'am?" "She moved in with Jake over a month ago, sweetie." Rage boiled inside me, but I forced myself to stay calm. I thanked the neighbor and left. I couldn't confront them yet, Sophie was still in the hospital. I'd head home, get everything ready, and in a few days, once she was discharged and back at the apartment, I'd deal with her properly. I rode home, tears streaming down my face as a storm rolled in, making me cry even harder. The rain hid my tears, no one could tell I was sobbing. At a red light, I stopped, soaking wet and shivering. I'd forgotten my raincoat that morning. I was still crying, letting it all out so I wouldn't have to cry when I got home. I needed to be strong for the days ahead, to face the pain my so-called loving husband had caused. A car honked behind me, startling me. I turned around and snapped, "What's with the honking? Can't you see it's a red light? If you don't know how to drive, don't get behind the wheel." A young man in the car rolled down his window and said gently, "The light's been green for a while, ma'am. Go ahead so I can get through." I looked up, sure enough, it was green, with only 3 seconds left before it turned red again. I fumbled to start my bike, but of course, it stalled right then. I had to wait through another cycle. I gave an awkward smile. "Sorry about that, I didn't notice." He asked, "You okay? Need any help?" "I'm fine, thanks for asking." I pulled my bike to the sidewalk to restart it, but it wouldn't budge. "Seriously? This bike's not even a year old, and now it won't start." As I struggled, the guy from the car came over with an umbrella, shielding me from the rain. "Why didn't you bring a raincoat? It's freezing out here, you're not worried about getting sick?" I looked up, finally seeing his face clearly. He was tall and handsome, with a warm, sunny smile. I shook my head. "I left in a rush and forgot it." "I'll be fine, you don't need to worry. Here, take the umbrella and cover yourself. Let me check your bike." I held the umbrella as he gave the bike a gentle kick. It started right up, even though I'd been trying forever. "Wow, this bike's got a mind of its own, huh?" I was so relieved, thanking him over and over. "Thank you so much. You saved me." "Where you headed?" "I'm going back to Hung Yen, it's a bit of a drive." "Your clothes are soaked, you'll freeze like this." "I can't afford to die just yet, I've got too much left to settle." "I'll be okay, thanks again." He sighed. "Hold on, let me grab you a jacket." He ran to his car, pulled out a blazer, and handed it to me. "Here, put this on." Oh, no, I'm fine, really. Just take it, come on. I felt awkward but took the blazer and slipped it on. Thanks so much. Hey, give me your number, I'll return the jacket to you later. No need to return it. Just head home, and be careful. Alright, I'm off then. Thanks again. He started walking away, then turned back. I don't know what's got you so upset that you're crying like this, but try to cheer up, okay? You're young, with a long future ahead, lots of good things are waiting for you. I was surprised, guess he'd seen me crying at the light. I forced a smile. Thanks for that. He nodded, gave me a warm smile, and walked off. Wow, what a guy, handsome and kind. When I got home, Mrs. Clara was surprised. You're back early, hon? Yeah, I wasn't feeling great, so I left work early. Oh, you got wet in the rain, huh? Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go shower, it's freezing. I took off the blazer the guy had given me and checked the pocket, finding a business card inside. His name was Brian Pham, a director at a big electronics company. Talk about young and successful. Now that I had his number, I'd return the jacket to his office sometime soon. After my shower, I went to my room and lay down. I called Jake, but he didn't pick up. So I texted him, "Hey babe, I miss you so much. Come home soon, okay?" A while later, he replied, "I'm super busy, can't make it." I smirked. Busy taking care of Sophie, huh? Nice one, Jake. 3 days later, I found out Sophie had been discharged and was back at the apartment with Jake. He'd taken several days off to care for his girlfriend, but when I was sick, even with Mrs. Clara begging him to come home, he wouldn't budge. That's the power of a mistress for you. I bought a small hair clipper and some other essentials, packed them in a bag, and headed to the city to set my plan in motion. Before leaving, I called Jake. "Hey, what are you up to? Back at work yet?" He sounded annoyed. "I've got a ton on my plate. If it's not important, don't call me. I just miss you, I wanted to hear your voice. Cut the childish, I miss you, stuff. I'm busy, no time for this." Then he hung up, cold as ice. I gave a bitter smile. Busy with work, or busy with her? Let's see how long you two last. I arrived at the apartment complex, parked my bike at a nearby shop, and hung out at a small cafe just outside the alley to scope things out. About 30 minutes later, I saw Jake riding his bike with Sophie on the back, her arms wrapped tightly around him. I was furious, but I stayed calm and collected. I bet most people in my shoes would have stormed out, stopped the bike, and given Sophie a beatdown right there, causing a huge scene in the complex. But not me, I kept it quiet. Neither Jake nor Sophie was wearing a helmet, so I figured they were just grabbing breakfast nearby. I headed into the complex. At 8 a.m., the place was dead, everyone had gone to work. I pulled out my key, unlocked the door, and slipped into Jake's apartment. The room was a mess, blankets and pillows still crumpled at the foot of the bed, Sophie's underwear scattered around. I felt a surge of rage, tears streaming down my face. On the table were 2 energy drinks. I opened them, slipped some sedative into both, and sealed them back up. Then I went to the bathroom, grabbed a bottle of allergen spray, and doused a face towel with it. Once everything was set, I climbed up to the loft, tucked myself into a corner behind some bags, and waited silently. Half an hour later, I heard Jake's bike pull up. He noticed the door was only latched, not locked, and asked Sophie, "Hey, didn't you lock the door?" I did, or at least I thought I did. Guess I forgot again, just like last time. Sophie pouted. "Geez, it's not like there's anything worth stealing in here, were you so worried?" Jake chuckled. "Yes, ma'am, you're always right." From the loft, I watched as Jake and Sophie walked in, all lovey-dovey, arms around each other. Jake grabbed one of the energy drinks and chugged it. "Man, that hits the spot. Breakfast was great, but I'm so thirsty." "I'm parched too," Sophie said, grabbing the other bottle and drinking it down. I smirked to myself. "Drink up, you'll see what's coming." The sedative hadn't kicked in yet, and Sophie started peeling off her clothes, strutting around in front of Jake, teasing him. "Baby, I'm so hot." Jake finished his drink and teased back, "You just got out of the hospital, and you're already trying to start something?" Sophie posed seductively. "Wanna shower with me? I'm burning up here." With her flirty, provocative act, it was no wonder Jake was so smitten with her. I was seething. Seeing Jake scoop Sophie up and carry her to the bathroom made me want to jump down and knock them both out right then and there. But I kept my cool. Maybe my ancestors were looking out for me, helping me stay level-headed. If something happened to Jake and Sophie, I'd be the one paying the price, and my parents would suffer the most. Ladies, life's too short, don't let a man ruin your life or your family's. Jake and Sophie went into the bathroom, giggling as they showered together. Jake even used the tainted towel to wipe Sophie down, then used it on his own face. Things were about to get interesting. When they came out, Jake's eyes were drooping, he collapsed onto the bed and passed out. Sophie, who'd drunk less, wasn't fully out yet. She climbed on top of Jake, trying to rouse him. "Baby, why are you sleeping so early? Wake up and play with me." But moments later, she passed out too. I waited a bit longer to make sure the sedative had fully kicked in, then climbed down, staring at the two of them lying there, tangled up together. I sighed. "Alright, let's see how I fix you two." I'd never felt so calm and cold-blooded as I did in that moment. No hitting, no screaming, no cursing, no smashing things. My approach was simple. First, I took out my phone and snapped photos of Jake and Sophie, naked and wrapped in each other's arms, for evidence. Then I grabbed the clippers and shaved both their heads clean, collecting the hair in a plastic bag to toss into the river later when I passed a bridge. With their heads now bald as monks, plus the red, itchy rashes from the allergen spray popping up all over their faces and bodies, they looked horrifying. I bet when they woke up and saw themselves in the mirror, they'd faint from the shock. With everything done, I cleaned up the scene and quietly left. On my way home, I stopped by a clothing store and treated myself to a few new outfits to cheer myself up after all the bitterness I'd endured. It wasn't until late afternoon that Jake and Sophie woke up. Jake rolled over, pulled Sophie close, and kissed her forehead. But something felt off. Her skin was rough and bumpy, not smooth like usual. He reached to stroke her hair, but there was none. Confused, he muttered, "That's weird." He opened his eyes and froze. Sophie's face was covered in red rashes, her head completely bald, and her body was littered with spots. Jake stammered in horror, "Oh my gosh. What happened to you?" Sophie woke up, saw Jake, and screamed, "Oh my God, your head, it's bald. Where's your hair? And mine, where's my hair?" They stared at each other, shrieking, then bolted to the mirror. Seeing their bald heads and rash-covered bodies, Sophie let out a cry and fainted on the spot. Jake, a bit calmer, quickly got dressed, wrapped Sophie in a towel, and called a cab to rush her to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctors gave them a shot to clear up the rashes, but Sophie couldn't accept her bald head. She wailed so loudly the whole hospital could hear. Jake brought 2 boxes of food to the table. "Sophie, come eat. You need to take your meds, stop crying." "I'm not eating." How can you even think about food at a time like this? What do you want me to do, then? You need to figure out who did this to us. There's no security cameras in the complex, so we can't check for suspects. You idiot. We have to find whoever shaved our heads. Hair doesn't just disappear while we're asleep. Alright, I'll look into it. Let's eat first. Sophie, in a rage, grabbed the food box and threw it at Jake's face, gritting her teeth. Eat, eat, that's all you care about. Your brain's no better than a cow's. All you think about is eating. You useless, pathetic coward. Jake barely had time to wipe the food off his face as Sophie kept cursing him. Everyone in the hospital started whispering and staring. Jake felt humiliated, but Sophie didn't care. She kept tearing into him mercilessly. As he cleaned up the food mess on the bed, she wouldn't let up. Then she grabbed a glass of water and hurled it at his forehead. It hit him square on, splitting his skin, blood pouring down and staining his shirt. People around panicked and called a nurse, who stitched up Jake's forehead, 5 stitches right in the middle. Jake went out to the hallway and sat there, crying. After a while, Jake called Mrs. Clara to fish for information. Hey, Mom. Yeah, hon, what's up? Is Sarah home? She is, just got back from work. She started back on Monday. Oh, okay. Does she seem off at all to you? Not at all, hon, she's been fine. Just a bit ago, she was feeding the chickens, saying some of the roosters are getting big and to save them for when you come home to eat. She misses you and wants you back, Jake. Jake hesitated. Really? Alright, thanks, Mom. Jake, is something wrong? You sound so down. No, I'm fine, Mom, don't worry. I'm just busy, that's all. Listen, if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, come home to me and Sarah, okay? Tears welled up in Jake's eyes, and he quickly hung up, not wanting his mom to hear him cry. Based on what his mom said, Jake figured Sarah had nothing to do with the head shaving incident. He thought to himself, if Sarah knew, all hell would have broken loose by now, it wouldn't be this quiet. So who's the real culprit? He racked his brain but couldn't figure it out. Who had he and Sophie pissed off to deserve such a vicious payback? I was folding clothes when Mrs. Clara came in. She sat down and started talking. Sarah, I don't know what's going on with Jake, but he sounded so sad on the phone, I think he was crying. I knew exactly why, but I played dumb. Oh no, really? What's wrong with him? I need to call him and check, Mom. Yeah, call him, he wouldn't tell me anything, but he might open up to you. With Mrs. Clara sitting there, I had to put on a good act. I called Jake, and he picked up. Hey, it's me. Honey, what's going on? Mom told me, and I'm so worried. Please, come home to me, come back to me, Jake. Jake sat there, frozen, as memories of the love we once shared flooded back. Hearing me plead for him to come home, he hesitated, torn. Part of him wanted to return, but part of him didn't. Thinking about Sophie's harsh words made him feel defeated. But going back to Sarah and leaving Sophie might mean Sophie would cause a scene, and if Sarah found out, he'd lose everything. Staying with Sophie, though, meant enduring her insults, which didn't make him happy either. While Jake was sitting in the hallway, lost in thought, Sophie came out, her face sour. How's your investigation going? Any leads yet? Jake shook his head. Not yet. Sophie glared at him. Who else could it be besides your wife, you idiot? It's not her, Sarah doesn't know about this. How are you so sure she didn't do it? Or are you just upset because I messed with your precious wife? Jake snapped, I said it's not her. Sarah doesn't even know we're together. If she did, she wouldn't be this calm about it. Shut up. When a woman's out for revenge, she can do things men would never even dream of. I'm telling you, it was her. Jake and Sophie got into a heated argument. Sophie was convinced Sarah was behind it, while Jake insisted she wasn't. Their clashing views sent Sophie into a rage. She felt Jake was taking Sarah's side. Furious, she kicked him out. Get out. Get out of here. I don't want to see your face. Go back to your wife and cling to her skirt. Jake was just as angry, fed up with Sophie cursing him out like he was trash, with no respect. He glared at her. Fine, you remember this, you're kicking me out today, so we're done. Still fuming, Sophie kept screaming at him to leave, and Jake, equally pissed, stormed off. Jake went back to his apartment, lying there alone, thinking. For the first time, he missed his wife and mom back home. Suddenly, he wanted to go back. The next morning, worried about Sophie, he went to the hospital to find her, but he was told her parents had already picked her up and taken her home. Jake left, feeling down. His emotions were all over the place. One moment he wanted to go back to Sarah, the next he wanted to chase after Sophie. Sure, Sophie was harsh and cursed him out a lot, but they clicked when it came to intimacy. To Jake, love and physical connection had to go hand in hand for a fulfilling life. He felt torn, unsure whether to return to his wife or not. I was taking clothes down to fold and put away when I saw the blazer. I remembered, oh no, I still haven't returned this to that guy. I brought the clothes to my room, thinking, maybe tomorrow I'll go see Jake and drop off the jacket to that guy on the way. But I didn't have to wait until tomorrow. That afternoon, Jake called me, crying, his voice slurring like he'd been drinking. Sarah, I'm so sad, he said, clearly emotional. He asked me to come to his apartment. Hearing him cry and sound so broken, my heart softened. I asked, do you want to come home and live a peaceful life with me? Jake hesitated. Tell me the truth. If you really want to come back to me, I'll forgive everything, and I'll come pick you up right now. What do you say? You're not mad at me? I've been lying to you this whole time. I sighed. I know. I started suspecting something when Sophie showed up at our house, but I didn't have proof, so I didn't say anything. I'm so sorry, I've been awful. I'm really sorry, Sarah. Jake's tears as he apologized made me feel even more for him. Stop crying, okay? We've been apart for so long, I understand, and I can forgive you. Just come back to me and promise you'll never make that mistake again. Come home to me, Jake. Then come get me now. I'm too drunk to drive back. Alright, I'm on my way. Stay in your room and wait for me. Okay, I'll wait. I quickly changed my clothes and tossed Brian's blazer into the bike storage compartment so I could return it to him on the way back. As I wheeled my bike out, Mrs. Clara asked, "It's getting dark. Where are you off to, hon?" I beamed at her. "I'm going to pick up Jake, Mom." "Oh, he can't come back on his own, so you're going to get him?" "Yeah, he's feeling tired, so I'm heading up to bring him home. He said he's ready to come back for good. I'm so happy. I'm heading out now." "Alright, be careful, okay?" On the ride, I kept thinking, if Jake really has changed, I'll give him a chance to start over. We'd live a peaceful life together, never apart again. Just imagining that made me so happy. But when I got to the apartment complex, Jake's door was locked from the outside. That's weird. He said he'd wait for me. Where'd he go? I couldn't find him, and panic set in. Just over an hour ago, we'd talked on the phone, and he promised he'd wait for me to pick him up, yet now he was nowhere to be found. I called him, but his phone was off. I broke down crying right there in the complex, drawing curious whispers from the neighbors. So he's abandoned me again, he went to find Sophie. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where she lives, how am I supposed to get him back? I cried until my eyes were swollen. It was already dark, so I got up, grabbed my bike, and started heading home. I've really lost my husband this time, there's no saving this anymore. The last chance I gave Jake, and he threw it away. I rode to a bridge, stopped, and stared down at the rushing water below. The wind was cold, biting, but it couldn't ease my sadness. A warm voice broke through my thoughts. Hey, you again. Looks like we're meant to cross paths, huh? I turned around, it was the young director, Brian Pham. Oh, it's you, Brian? Wait, you know my name? Impressive. I brought your blazer, I'll grab it for you. Brian looked at me, concerned. You don't look okay. What's going on? First, I saw you crying in the rain, and now it looks like you're about to jump off this bridge. If you need help, just tell me, I'll do what I can. I couldn't help but laugh. Oh my gosh, what are you thinking? I'm just standing here to feel the breeze, I'm not planning to jump, okay? You sure about that? I opened my bike's storage compartment, pulled out his blazer, and handed it to him. I'm sure. I might be hurting a lot right now, but I'm not having those kinds of thoughts. Brian smiled at me. Good, that's a relief. So what's got you so down? Tell me, I might be able to help. I shook my head, feeling defeated. You can't help me with this. Just tell me. Maybe I can, I'm pretty good at fixing things. I sighed and explained, my husband got taken by someone else. What? Who took him? Sophie, 30 years old, daughter of Mr. David Thompson, the CEO of Unitech. That's all I know, I don't even know where she lives. Did your husband do something to her? They've been having an affair behind my back for a while now. This afternoon, he told me he'd change and asked me to come pick him up, but when I got here, he was gone. Did she come and kidnap him or something? Brian let out a sigh. A husband that awful, and you're still holding on? Why don't you just leave him and start over? Are you actually this naive, or are you just pretending? Right now, I can't think straight. I just want him to come home so we can talk things out clearly. Can you help me get him back? You want him to come home so you can have a proper talk, right? Yes. Alright, hold on a sec. Brian called a friend. Hey, I need you to find the address of Sophie, daughter of David Thompson, CEO of Unitech. Quick, I need it ASAP. 5 minutes later, Brian had the address and turned to me. Let's park your bike and go. I've got the address. That was fast. You're amazing. I told you, there's nothing I can't do. I'll take you there to get your husband back. Thank you so much. After parking my bike, Brian drove me straight to Mr. Thompson's house. We're here, this is Thompson's place. He's away on a business trip, so it's probably just his daughter at home. You sure your husband's in there? I'll ring the bell, but if he's not here, this could get awkward. I'm sure, let me ring the bell. I pressed the doorbell 3 times, but no one answered. The door was locked from the inside, so why wasn't anyone coming out? Inside, Jake and Sophie were tangled up together. Hearing the bell, Sophie nudged Jake. Go check the camera, see who's at the door. Jake panicked. What if it's your dad? I'm screwed. Relax, my dad's not back for 3 days. It's probably someone else, go look. Jake got up, checked the camera, and froze when he saw me standing outside. He ran back to Sophie. "It's not your dad, it's my wife. How'd she even find this place?" Sophie glared at him. "Your wife tracked you down here. And you told me she was clueless and wouldn't figure anything out?" "Clueless, huh? Then how'd she find you?" Jake stammered. "What do we do now?" "Just ignore her, what else? You're not seriously gonna go out there and leave with her, are you?" Jake shook his head. "No way, I'm staying here with you." "Good. Then come back to bed and hold me, forget about her." Jake climbed back into bed, wrapping his arms around Sophie, ignoring me as I kept ringing the doorbell outside. After a while, with still no answer, Brian spoke up. "Looks like we need to take a more drastic approach. Ringing the bell like this, we could be here till morning, and they still won't come out." I said sadly, "Do you have a better idea?" Brian nodded, then opened his car trunk and pulled out a small speaker. "Here we go, lucky my cousin left this in my trunk the other day. If we've got a speaker, we'll use it to call your husband out. He'll definitely hear us with this." Brian set the speaker up in front of Sophie's gate, grabbed the mic, and tested it. "Hello, hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, hello, hello." I jumped. I couldn't believe how loud that little speaker was, echoing through the whole area. Brian tested the mic, then handed it to me. "Mic and speaker are ready, go ahead and call your husband out. It's loud enough that even if he's half deaf, he'll hear you." I took the mic, my hands shaking, feeling nervous. Are you sure this is a good idea?" Brian smiled at me. "If you're nervous, I'll do it for you. Don't worry, I've got your back." Then he took the mic and started. "Hello, hello." He paused and turned to me. "Oh, I forgot to ask, what's your husband's name? And your name? And the other woman's?" "My husband's Jake, I'm Sarah, and her name's Sophie." "Got it. Hello, hello. Jake, what are you doing in Sophie's house for so long? Come on out, your wife Sarah's waiting for you at the gate." "Jake, hello, Jake." I couldn't help but giggle at Brian's calm demeanor. He spoke so smoothly and professionally, I couldn't believe it. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to pull a stunt like this, standing outside a gate, laughing while trying to confront my husband's affair. But Brian's deadpan face was too much, I couldn't hold back my laughter. Inside, Sophie and Jake heard the booming speaker. Sophie opened the window and looked down, calling to Jake. "Jake, get over here, look." Jake peeked out and was stunned. "That's Sarah, who's that guy with her?" Sophie shot him a glare. "You're not thinking of a way to get out of this, and instead you're jealous of that guy? Or do you still care about your wife?" Jake mumbled, "No, I'm not jealous, I'm just wondering." "So what do we do now?" Sophie saw that it was just the two of us outside, and she wasn't intimidated. She smirked confidently. "It's just the two of them, and there's two of us, what's there to be scared of? I've decided, we're going out there to settle this with her once and for all." "Settle what? Or you can just hide if you want." "I'm not hiding." "What do you want me to do?" "I want you to go out there with me and tell her straight up that you're choosing me, and that she needs to get lost. You need to say it in front of me. You up for that, or are you too scared?" Jake scratched his head. "I really have to say that?" "Yes. If you don't tell her exactly what I said, you're the one who's getting out of here. Let's go." Brian kept talking into the mic, but Jake and Sophie still didn't come out. He tried again. "Hello, Jake, oh Jake, why were you leaving your wife all alone like this? You're not even that old, and you're already acting like a deadbeat? You've got a home to go back to, why were you out here wandering around?" "Jake, Hello, Jake. If you want to keep the neighbors from complaining, I suggest you go home with your wife right now. Hurry up, or I'll call the cops to drag you to the station. You've got 5 minutes to decide. Still no sign of Jake. Brian turned to me with a grin. Your husband's stubborn, won't come out no matter how much I call. Should I climb the wall and drag him out for you? No, don't. If you climb in, they might accuse us of breaking in. Let's just go, I'm exhausted. But right after I said that, Jake opened the door. Seeing me, he said, Sarah. I rushed over. Jake, I've been looking everywhere for you, let's go home. I grabbed his arm, but he shook me off. Enough, Sarah. Go home. I'm not coming with you, I'm staying here with Sophie. Sophie stepped out from behind Jake, smirking at me. Sarah, you lost. Get out of here, Jake's chosen me. Go on, loser. Brian, seeing Jake and Sophie with their bald heads, Sophie still had a few stray hairs sticking up, leaned in and whispered to me, are these two planning to join a monastery together or something? A monastery? No way, I'm the one who shaved their heads. Brian's jaw dropped. You shaved their heads? Wow, you're way tougher than I thought, major props. I warned them, but looks like they didn't take me seriously. Maybe I went too easy on them, should have scratched up their faces a bit too. Brian nodded. Maybe it's time to face the truth. Your husband's beyond saving. I know. Let me try talking to Jake one more time, maybe he'll change his mind. While there's still a chance, I'll take it. Do what you think is right. I've got your back, don't worry. Thanks so much. I took a deep breath, pushing down all my frustration, and looked at Jake seriously. Jake, I still love you. I want us to go home together and forget all this mess. Let's start over, give us another chance, okay? Jake shook his head. It's too late. I'm not happy with you anymore, Sarah. If I go back with you now, I'll just end up leaving again tomorrow or the day after. My eyes welled up. Jake, I'm begging you, don't do this. Come home with me. If there's something you're not happy about, just tell me, I'll change, I'll do whatever you want. Please, don't leave me. Brian, seeing me grovel, muttered under his breath, you're starting to look pathetic. I thought you were stronger than this, turns out you're just as cliché as the rest. Disappointing. I grabbed Jake's hand, pleading. Please, Jake, come back with me, I'm begging you. I need you. Jake pushed my hand away. Go home, Sarah. I'll come back in a few days, and we'll file for divorce. Just leave, stop bothering me. He shoved me, and I fell hard on the ground. Sophie, looking smug, linked her arm with Jake's and sneered at me. Aren't you humiliated? He's already said all that, and you're still begging him. If I were you, I'd be so ashamed, I'd probably jump off a bridge and be done with it. Why even live after that kind of embarrassment? Brian, hearing Sophie insult me, glared at her and warned, shut your mouth, or you won't have one left to eat with. Sophie shrank back behind Jake, scared. Jake, he's threatening me. Brian shot a look at Jake. You wanna step up? I'm ready for you. I pushed Brian back. What are you doing? Stop it. Brian, frustrated, snapped at me, why are you so clueless? Look at this guy's face, does he have anything worth clinging to? Snap out of it and stop being so delusional. Sophie jumped in, echoing Brian. He's right, you know. Stop being so stupid, Sarah, Jake doesn't love you anymore. Wake up. I sat there crying, completely hopeless. I looked at Jake, but he didn't even glance at me. The only person he cared about now was Sophie, not me. It was truly over. I stood up, looking at Jake one last time. "You're absolutely not coming back with me?" Jake gave a cold smirk. "Stop being so stubborn, just go home." Sophie scoffed, looking at me with disdain. "Get lost, stop standing here trying to guilt-trip us." I turned to Brian and said, "Let's go, it's really over." Brian leaned in close, whispering, "What, you're just leaving? You're actually giving up?" I sighed, my voice heavy with defeat. "What else can I do? I'm out of options." Brian raised an eyebrow, smirking with a mischievous glint. "Then beat them up." I spun around, shocked. "Huh? What did you just say? Beat them up?" Brian repeated himself, his tone as casual as if he were talking about grabbing groceries. "I'm not some thug like you know, I don't do that kind of thing." I hesitated, but my eyes darted toward Jake and Sophie, burning with resentment. Brian crossed his arms, leaning against the wall with a taunting tone. "You scared? Then just take it, let them walk all over you forever." That struck a nerve. My blood boiled, and I clenched my fists, grinding my teeth. Who said they get to walk all over me? What can you do about it, huh? Just stand there biting your lip, taking the humiliation? Brian's words were like a knife to my pride. I whipped around, my eyes blazing. "Fine, today, I'll show them what I'm made of." Brian shrugged, looking pleased. I took a deep breath and said, "Hold on. I've got something for Jake." I grabbed a box and walked over to Jake and Sophie, giving one last shot. "Are you coming home with me or not? If you don't, I'll..." Before I could finish, Sophie slapped the air in front of my face, pointing at me. "Get lost, you psycho, what are you gonna do to me?" At that moment, my anger erupted like a volcano. I quietly pulled out a cake from the box, still covered in frosting, that I'd bought to celebrate Jake coming back to me. "Sophie, your skin's so nice, you must love taking care of yourself, huh?" I smiled, but my eyes were anything but friendly. "What are you talking about?" Sophie snapped, eyeing me warily. Before she could react, I opened the box and smashed the cake right into her face. The white buttercream splattered all over her bald head. "This cake is to congratulate you and Jake on becoming a couple." The soft, creamy cake turned her queenly face into an abstract mess. Sophie screamed, "You lunatic, what the hell are you doing?" Brian burst out laughing, slapping his thigh. "Oh my gosh, a masterpiece. Free buttercream skincare, amazing." Jake, furious, started to charge at me, but Brian held up a hand to stop him. "Hold up, buddy, what are you gonna do, help your cake queen over there?" Jake glared at him. "Shut up, this is my business." "Oh, your business, huh?" Brian raised an eyebrow, crossing his arms. "So what's your plan, run over and wipe her face for her?" Jake, even angrier, lunged at Brian, swinging a punch, but Brian dodged effortlessly, tapping Jake on the head as he sidestepped. "Wake up, man, hitting me won't make Sarah any less pissed." Jake clutched his forehead, stepping back, his face a mix of rage and embarrassment. I couldn't help but laugh at the scene. "Brian, you're something else, taking someone down without even throwing a real punch, just a tap on the monk's head." Brian smirked, glancing at Jake as he slunk back. "Of course, I don't use brute force, I use brains." Meanwhile, Sophie was still frantically wiping her face and bald head, covered in buttercream, crying and yelling. "You wait, Sarah, I'm not letting this go." I raised an eyebrow, grabbed the water bottle I'd been drinking from, and poured it right over her head, pretending to comfort her as I did. "Calm down, Sophie, this water's to help you cool off and live a long life." Brian clapped enthusiastically. "Nice one, you're the kind of girl I like." I turned to Jake, giving him a cold stare. "Thanks, Jake, for showing me your true colors. Now go live happily with her. Goodbye." With that, Brian and I walked away, leaving Jake and Sophie, one drenched, the other smeared with frosting, standing frozen at the gate, the center of attention for the whole neighborhood. Brian grabbed my hand. "Let's go, sweetheart, that's enough." I glanced back at him, but before I could say anything, Brian wrapped his arms around me, startling me. "Wait, Before I could finish, he kissed me, right in front of Jake and Sophie's stunned faces. "Why'd you kiss me?" "Don't say anything, let's just go." I climbed into Brian's car, my heart heavy. "So it's really over." Seeing my sadness, Brian tried to cheer me up. "Hey, don't be down, there are plenty of guys better than him out there. Forget him, he doesn't deserve you. I don't trust men anymore, I'm so tired. Not all guys are like him. Take me, for example." I pouted. "Sure, everyone's nice and sweet at first, but it only lasts a little while. They all change eventually." Brian frowned. "How can you be so sure when you haven't even given me a chance?" I shook my head, exasperated. "Enough, I don't want to think about anyone right now. I just want to take a break, be on my own, not tied down to anyone. So please, don't say anything more." Brian nodded. "All right, I understand." I smiled, closed my eyes, and dozed off. When I jolted awake, we were already at my place. "Oh, we're here? Oh no, my bike. Where's my bike?" Brian teased, "I sold it." "What? Are you crazy? Why'd you sell my bike? You better get me a new one." "Alright, I'll get you one, I'll even give you my whole life as compensation. Take me instead, I'm worth way more than that bike." I snapped, fuming. "Oh my gosh. I need my bike to get to work tomorrow, I don't need you. Do you get that?" Brian stayed calm. "Fine, marry me, and I'll drive you to work, no need for a bike." "I need my bike, not you." "Ugh, why are you so stubborn?" Brian chuckled and made an offer. "So you need your bike back, right?" "Yes, give me my bike." "Alright, I'll get it back for you, but on one condition." "A condition? You sold my bike, and now you're giving me conditions?" "Fine, I don't need it then." I was so annoyed, I raised my voice. "What's the condition?" "Simple, be my girlfriend." I sighed. "Why do you want me to be your girlfriend? We just met, are you planning to trick me and sell me off or something?" Brian looked at me, serious. "I'm not joking, I mean it." "What's your reason? Are you just feeling sorry for me because my husband treated me so badly? Right now, I want to protect you, take care of you, and keep you safe. I know you won't believe me, but I'm being honest. I've never felt this urge to look after someone like I do with you. You're crazy, stop messing with me. Haven't I been through enough? Alright, I'll prove to you that I'm serious. For now, let me take you home." "Okay, I want to go to my mom's place, can you take me there?" Brian drove me to my mom's house, then headed back to the city. My mom was surprised to see me. "Sarah, what are you doing here this late? What's going on?" "I'm exhausted, Mom, I just want to sleep." "We'll talk tomorrow, okay?" Alright, want me to sleep with you?" "No, I want to be alone. My mom always worries I'm too sad, so whenever I come over, she tries to sleep with me and pry into what's going on. But today, I was too tired to deal with that, so I didn't let her. I went to bed, called Mrs. Clara to let her know I was at my mom's so she wouldn't worry, then turned off my phone and went to sleep. Since my phone was off, Brian couldn't reach me. He got so worried that early the next morning, he showed up at my house looking for me. I was still asleep when my mom came in to wake me. "Sarah, get up, someone's here for you." I groaned, annoyed. "Who's looking for me this early, Mom?" She leaned in and whispered, "A really handsome guy, he drove up in a fancy car." I sat up. "It's him again? He came this early?" I started to head out, but my mom pulled me back, giving me a suspicious look. "Hold on, who's he?" "Just someone I recently met." "Tell me the truth, are you seeing him behind Jake's back?" "Sarah, are you cheating on your husband?" I sighed. "Oh my gosh, how can you say that about your own daughter?" "I'm not cheating, Mom, you're jumping to conclusions." My mom stared at me, still skeptical. "I'm not so sure. Jake's working far away, and you're here, don't tell me you're messing around." "What's wrong with you?" "I'm heading out." I walked out, my mom trailing behind, still nagging. "No matter what, you better not be fooling around, I forbid it, Sarah." I got fed up and snapped, "I'm not the one cheating, Jake is. Your precious son-in-law has been openly living with another woman for almost 2 months now. I've got a whole forest of horns on my head, Mom." My mom couldn't believe her ears, stammering, "Are you serious? How could that be? Jake's such a good guy, are you lying to me? If you don't believe me, call him yourself. And that woman is Sophie, you've met her. Remember when you came over, and she was eating dinner with Jake's family? I told you she was Jake's friend, she's his mistress, Mom." "What?" My mom was shaken, retreating to her room, closing the door, and grabbing her phone. Her hands were trembling so much she couldn't even dial. I went outside and saw Brian standing in the yard, holding a huge bouquet of roses. He grinned when he saw me. "Hey, I've been waiting for you since early this morning. What are you here for?" "I couldn't reach you, so I got worried and had to come check on you." "Glad you're okay." I sighed. I turned off my phone, "Don't worry, I'm fine. Come inside for some water." Brian came in and sat down to talk with my mom while I went to shower. My mom poured him a glass of water and asked, "Sarah said her husband's been cheating, is that true?" "Yes, ma'am. Yesterday, Sarah even begged him to come back, but he refused, he chose the other woman." My mom started crying. "How could he do that? Why would he be so awful? He's already moved in with her, ma'am. He said he'd come back in a few days to file for divorce." I feel so bad for Sarah. My mom sat there sobbing, tears streaming down her face. She called Jake, and hearing it straight from him finally made her believe it. She cried even harder. Brian comforted her. "Don't cry, ma'am, Sarah's still young, and she's got a long future ahead. Someone will make up for this down the road." After hearing Brian, my mom stopped saying anything to me. She turned to me. "Sarah, go hang out with Brian, I'll start cooking lunch." "Brian, stay for lunch, okay?" "Yes, ma'am, I'll even stay until the afternoon if that's all right." "Of course." Brian ran over to me, grinning. "You're okay with me staying till the afternoon, right? What's there to do? Eat lunch, then head out, no staying till the afternoon. You still have to take me to buy a new bike." "What about your old bike?" "If the old one's gone, get a new one, just like an old husband needs to be replaced with a new one." Out with the old, in with the new, right? I glared at him. Are you messing with me? I told you not to toy with me, don't you get that? Seeing me get upset, he quickly changed the subject, heading to the kitchen. Ma'am, you cooking lunch? Let me help with the veggies. No, if you help, we might not be able to eat later. I'll handle it, it'll be quick. My mom turned to Brian. Go to the chicken coop and grab a big rooster for me to cook. Brian jumped up, excited. Yes, ma'am, I'll catch one for you. But catching a chicken wasn't as easy as Brian thought. He slipped, sending the chickens scattering, then fell and knocked the coop door open, letting them all run out. Panicked, he shouted, Sarah, help, Sarah, the chickens are escaping. I told him to step back, then sprinkled some grain into the coop. The chickens ran back in, and I grabbed a rooster, handing it to Brian. Here's your chicken, take it to my mom to cook. Can't even catch a chicken, what can you do? Brian laughed, a few chicken feathers still stuck to his forehead. I couldn't catch the chicken, but I can be your husband. I sighed, shaking my head. Not so sure about that, you think being my husband is easy? Just wait and see if it's easy or not. A week later, Jake came back home. He brought divorce papers and asked me to sign them. I held the papers, sighed, and looked at him. You're really happy with her, aren't you? Yes. No wonder you were so set on divorcing me. Fine, I'll sign. Good. If you ever struggle in the future, just call me, I'll help if I can. I gave a bitter smile. You're worried I'll struggle? That's rich. One more thing, since you're a divorced woman now, you should find someone in a similar situation to marry. Don't fall for those young, rich city guys, they're just playing around. They wouldn't actually marry someone like you. You're talking about Brian, my friend? Yes. He's not like you, so don't talk about him that way. I'm just giving you a heads up. Go ahead and sign, I need to submit the papers. I signed the papers and handed them to him. After signing, I didn't cry, I comforted myself. I'll be fine. I'll get through this quickly. I know I can. Mrs. Clara and Emily were furious, but Jake had made up his mind, and no one could change it. Mrs. Clara, in her anger, kicked Jake out, saying, Go wherever you want, but don't ever bring Sophie back here. Jake accepted it, he and Sophie were already planning to buy their own place. He'd live in the city with her and not come back to the countryside. After that, I moved back to my mom's house. I went to work as usual and slowly started to forget Jake, the husband who'd betrayed me. 3 months later, Jake and Sophie got married, the same day I agreed to be Brian's girlfriend, marking a new chapter in my life. Brian was an amazing man. The way he loved me was unique, and he became the one who healed the wounds in my heart. While Brian and I were enjoying our happiness, Jake and Sophie started having issues. Sophie, always the flirt, fell for a more charming man than Jake and started cheating on him. Just 2 months after their wedding, Jake caught her in the act, bringing another guy home to sleep with while he was away on a work trip. They got into a huge fight, and Sophie kicked Jake out. Since the house was in her name, bought with her parents' money, Jake had no claim to it. Her wealthy parents gave her the confidence to do whatever she wanted. She kicked Jake out and demanded a divorce to be with her new guy. Jake, humiliated, went back to his mom, begging for forgiveness. Mrs. Clara forgave him, and he got a job transfer closer to home. He started over from scratch, full of regret, but it was too late. A month after Jake returned, he came to my mom's house looking for me. I was on a trip with Brian, so he ran into my mom instead. Hesitating, he asked, "Ma'am, is Sarah home?" My mom scoffed. She's not here. Were you looking for her? I need to talk to her. When's she coming back? She's on a trip with her fiancé. You should go. If you've got something to say, tell me, and I'll pass it on. But don't bother looking for her. Her fiancé wouldn't like that. Jake was stunned. Sarah's getting married? You two crack me up. You've been married for a while now, don't you think she deserves to move on too? Or do you expect her to stay single forever just to make you happy? How selfish can you be? Jake left quietly, finally realizing, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Dear friends, that's the end of our short story, a fun, humorous, and heartwarming tale, right? If you enjoyed it and liked the story, please share and give a thumbs up to support Everyday Tales Audio. Goodbye, and we'll see you in the next stories, airing regularly on our channel.